Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I want to talk about a layer that a Dragon Master encounters before they encounter the game layer, air quotes. I actually don't think Dungeons and Dragons is a game, but most people do, and so I want to talk about the layers that people encounter before they actually encounter the game, air quotes, layer of Dungeons and Dragons. So I've talked about the history layer, the reputation layer, the table layer, and what I want to talk about today is the curation layer. What is the curation layer? The curation is the people you will encounter at the table. Okay, so first of all, I don't use the word Dungeons and Dragons player. I don't think it's a correct term. I think it's offensive. I actually think to say, oh, the dungeon master creates the world. Oh, this player schlub, they got one character sheet. Like it's wrong. So I use the term dragon master. So the dragon masters are the 5 players at the table: the red, white, the blue, the green, the black. Right? Each brings their own flavor to the game. But a Dungeons and Dragons table is 5 players and 1 dungeon master, right? So I want to talk about this curation, right? So what is why don't you just say people, Scott, or the dragon masters? Well, the reason why is it's very important to understand that the people you encounter at a Dungeons and Dragons table are a curation of the Dungeons and Dragons community, right? So you are a dragon master, you're coming and you're sitting at the table, okay? And you're going to encounter this layer before you get to the game air quotes layer, okay? And that is the curation, and that is the people who are at the table, okay? And let's talk about the people who come to a Dungeons and Dragons table. They are not normal by any stretch of the imagination. You're a wizard, Harry. We are the wizard world. The rest of the world is muggles. There are no muggles at a Dungeons and Dragons table. None. Gary Gygax, on February 7th, 1974, he laid it down. He laid it down. He put the cornerstones in, and he put in finely ground mason work. He put in the foundation of a filter. That filter is the most charismatic, confident, intelligent people in the world, and they are life changers. They are life changers, right? And I've been incredibly fortunate to meet. I've definitely sat at the table with 200 people. No two ways about it. Easily 200, right? But because I've been playing since 1982, right? So I've sat down with literally 200 people. And I can tell you right now, 20 of them have changed my life in fundamental ways. And some of them, a few of them, I'm fortunate, right? I'm fortunate that a few of them I still count as friends. Some of them I count as my bitterest rivals, right? Like enemies, right? But the point is charismatic. What do I mean by that? Well, Dungeons and Dragons, just one tiny thing it is a super local, hyper personal theater, right? Everybody at the table is an actor, right? And honestly, I increasingly think better actors than you will find in Hollywood. Certainly better people, right? And honestly, I really think the craft, like Sam Riegel, he just, he gave the life of FCG to save Exandria, right? And when he did it, the Dragon Masters at that table, right? Marisha Ray and Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey, right? And and Travis Willingham, they wept, right? This is high theater, right? Charisma, right? Confidence. I cannot express this to you enough. Dungeons and Dragons is public speaking. You are speaking to a group. Many people, it's the last thing in the world they will do. Many people will get rid of any activity that requires them to public speak. It is the #1 fear in America, right? Public speaking. It's incredible, right? And then intelligence. You only encounter the hyper smart in Dungeons and Dragons, and the reason why is the ante is 750 pages of reading. Ain't nobody reading 750 pages of rules who ain't hyper smart. You will only encounter life-changing, incredibly charismatic, incredibly confident, incredibly intelligent people, and nothing in this world. You go watch a football game, you go to a bar, you go, you go do whatever, you go to a PX90, you go to yoga. You're not going to find these people anywhere else, right? Because Gary set it into place. He built a filter to find the most charismatic, confident, intelligent people in the world. You're not going to find that at a basketball game. You're not going to find that at, a group that collects toys. You're not going to find that anywhere else, right? And not in the secular world. There is one other place you'll find it. Actually, sacred spaces have a pretty awesome collection of people too. But when it comes to the secular world, and Dungeons & Dragons is primarily secular. It does bump into the spiritual, but it's not a church, and it doesn't replace church. So I did want to talk about curation, right? And so people say that Dungeons & Dragons is a game. How many layers down is that, right? You have to go through the history, the reputation, the table, the curation, and I ain't done. There's other layers, right? So I wanted to thank you for letting me discuss this with you, for your patience with my long form videos. I get a lot of flack in the comments. I wish people were more positive, but apparently doing something for 9 years for people gets people upset. Who knows why? I don't know. Maybe it's just the time we're living through. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.